Hi, Dave Klappenberger with Klappenberger and Son Painting and Handyman, and today we're going to take an in-depth look at the ProClassic Acrylic Alkyd paint. I was asked to take a look at this paint because I did not give a good review for the Emerald Semi-Gloss for kitchen cabinets. It just didn't hold up to the oils that can penetrate through the paint. However, they said the ProClassic Acrylic Alkyd, give it a shot, maybe it will hold up better. We think it will. I'm going to talk about that, how well that did hold up, because I did test it, and I also tested along Emerald Satin this time, not the semi-gloss but the satin. I tested the semi-gloss the first time, this time I'm testing the satin. I've also tested in previous YouTube videos the gloss as well. But first, let's talk about the workability of the ProClassic. The workability of the ProClassic is fantastic. When I look at workability, I look at three things. How far with one dip of a brush can you spread it? And the answer is about 36 inches. Very good. That's fantastic. Also, how easily does it work? It works great. It spreads fantastic. It's easy to work with and it goes a long way. You're going to like it. And finally, the working time. How long do you have to work with the paint before it starts to tack up? This can be a problem if you're painting doors or kitchen cabinets and you want to go back and you start to booger up the finish and you mar up the sheen because the paint was starting to dry. And the working time on this paint is about 3 minutes. I was blown away by how long you could go back and touch it up. There's very few paints that I could do that with. The coverage of the ProClassic might be its best attribute. It covers almost 100% in one coat over this dark, well, semi-dark mid-tone orangey brown color. Over a beige, it covered 100% in just one coat. There's very few satin paints that I've used that have this kind of coverage with just one coat. The coverage of this paint, there can't be a complaint about that. It's fantastic. Washability and durability. Washability and durability, what we do is we put crayon, mustard, ketchup, pencil, crayon, red wine, and coffee on top of this paint after it's had at least 2 weeks to cure. We let these things we put on there sit on there for about 24 to 48 hours, and then we take the same products that we always do, the crud cutter, the spray 9, the simple green, some bleach and water, spray it on there multiple times, always wiping it off with a Microsoft cloth, but over and over we're wiping it off, spraying it on, wiping it on, spraying, spraying, wiping, spraying, and in the end everything came off except for a teeny bit of turmeric. And after I think a few more applications I did get the turmeric done, but the cleaning was fantastic. It has great washability, and a lot of times, or sometimes about 50% of the time when I put these light industrial chemicals on there, it softens up the paint and it can scratch off. The ProClassic did not have that problem. So I'm giving this thing a 10 out of 10 on washability and durability. And finally, how did it hold up on the kitchen cabinets? Painted this cabinet door with 6 different paints. The first paint in these little squares, I put different paints. I put 2 coats over a shellac primer. The first one is PPG Advanced, Pittsburgh Advanced. I also did Fine Paints of Europe, both a satin and a gloss finish, followed by Emerald Satin, Sherwin Williams, top of the line. I wanted to see about the ProClassic. That's really what this whole study was about. How does the ProClassic Acrylic Alkyd hold up, which is a waterborne paint. And then I also put in duration just to see how that would hold up. Now, how does it hold up? What am I talking about? Well, we have oils on our fingers that when we touch the cabinets, transfer to the cabinets. Cooking oils can sometimes get on the cabinets, and these oils actually penetrate the top coat layers of paint and can break the adhesion between the primer and the top coats, and they scratch off. Now we want to see which paints scratch off.
which paint can handle the oils and which ones can't, because we know that the ProClassic is very durable for the stains that we did, the red wine and mustard and ketchup and all that stuff. But how about for oil? How does it hold up? So let's go ahead and do some testing and see if it scratches off. So this is the Pittsburgh Advance, and the paint scratches off a little bit, but it's pretty hard. If you just go like this, it's not coming off. If you really dig at it, you can kind of get it to come off a little bit. How about this? No matter how you kind of slice it and dice it, it's not really coming off. That's the fine paints of Europe. So the fine paints of Europe, stays on really well. The Pittsburgh Advance stays on really well. The fine paints of Europe gloss stays on pretty well. That stays on fine. The emerald satin stays on really well. The duration stays on really well. That stays on fine. This duration doesn't though. Look at that. I mean, you know, it can scratch off if you dig at it. The ProClassic comes right off. It's the easiest one of the bunch to get off is the ProClassic. So certainly wouldn't give that high marks for adhesion.
So I would not recommend using the ProClassic for kitchen cabinets. However, I would recommend it for bookcases, furniture, wood trim. It's a great paint to work with. The ProClassic comes in a satin, semi-gloss, a gloss, and then a high gloss. So I'm anxious to try. I really would like to try the high gloss and see how shiny that is and see what its reflection value is and how it compares to other glossy paints. Because when you want a glossy paint, you really want a glossy paint. I hope you found this YouTube video helpful and interesting and useful. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe to us, because we always have more in-depth research that we do on different painting products that are constantly coming out.